Welcome back, everybody. I have a great one for you today. We are talking about 3 high potential AI projects that you should be taking a look at during this bull run. We're going to be talking about 2 small to mid cap tokens, then 1 micro cap that's sitting under 20 million market cap at the time of this recording. So we're going to dive right into this and waste no time. I think one of the first things I want to lay out here is why we're looking at AI as a narrative, right? If you're into crypto, you've seen how explosive it's been, and I think it's going to continue to go that way. One of the reasons why is because if we compare how DeFi did last bull run and where it's at now, DeFi was really the AI of last bull run in 2021, right? We're talking Uniswap, AVAX, Chainlink, ICP. Some of these projects went berserk, right? And if we look at where that market cap is right now, 131 billion, that is really just a fraction of, way higher than where we're at with the AI market cap at 45 billion. So if we're talking about, outsized potential and where AI as a narrative could go in terms of where the DeFi narrative went last bull run, we have a lot of upside. And I think the other thing to look at here is where we're at in terms of altcoin market cap. We still have a long way to go to where we got in that kind of height of the bull run in 2021, up above, 1.1 trillion in altcoin market cap. Right now we're sitting, roughly at around, 700, 800 billion right in that area. So we still have some room to run there. But let's dive into the tokens we're talking about today. We're going to talk about one of the smaller kind of mid-cap type tokens first, and that's going to be Oraichain, or ticker ORAI. So this is sitting at about 225 million market cap. So again, mid to smaller cap there in terms of the size. What I do like right out the gate is the circulating supply. We're only going to see 20 million ORAI tokens in the market, which is obviously great compared to some of these that have billions and billions in terms of their supply. So essentially what Oraichain is a layer 1 that allows Web3 applications to be built with AI. So improving security, improving the performance, and taking their unique AI oracle to help you build out Web3 applications. So you can tell it's tying really, really closely to that AI narrative, AI agents, and providing that as a service across Web3 applications. Another big thing that I really like to make sure and double check is a team docs, right? When I'm looking at one of these smaller projects, are there names to the projects? Is there a way that, if this project went, down the drain for some reason, or if things weren't going well, is there a place where the chickens can come home to roost, and is there someone to hold accountable? And in this case, that absolutely checks the box. Obviously, you can see we have all of their team leads here, all of their heads, and their LinkedIn connections, LinkedIn links out to their profiles. It's very, very clear that, this is a real project. There's people behind it that are smart and have a history of being successful in crypto. Now, they do have quite a solid Twitter following, around 62,000, but obviously still some room to grow there in terms of the kind of social influence that they have. And again, that's one of the reasons why I still think that there's room to run on this. Now, if we look quickly at the chart, we're going to see that we're actually at a pretty critical moment here. So ORAI's done a good job coming back up and kind of getting back into the playing field of doing a reversal. So what we're seeing here is basically a very, very key moment where we're trying to get up above a previous resistance here at around, $15 to $17, and actually flip that into support. So you can see that right here over on the right-hand side, we're trying to flip this right now into support. And then from there, I think that, if we can hold this, there's a decent chance that we get a move to the upside, a bounce off of this support. If we can flip that resistance into support, we should see a decent bounce into that 22 to 30 area, and then hang out between these fibs up here. So definitely an interesting chance for ORAI to hit that bounce. And, we've been moving to the upside pretty substantially just as of late. But now let's move on to the next token. One of the ones that I'm most excited about, to be honest, I'm going to try to hide my excitement here, but that is PaladinAI. So this is the micro cap we're talking about, only at 15 million market cap right now. I can't believe it's been, flying under the radar so well. But essentially what PaladinAI is it's a decentralized Web3 security company. So what they do, for example, if you're familiar with smart contracts and contract audits, a company like Certic will audit a smart contract and make sure that it's okay to go on to the Ethereum network or whatever network you're putting the smart contract on. One example of a real world use case that I've seen a ton of people use Paladin for is actually contract audits automatically with AI. So I've seen a lot of feedback from people on Twitter saying, hey, I put my contract in front of PaladinAI and it audited it within minutes. I got my answers back and it was good to go. Where I remember being involved in some projects last bull run where the Certic audit would take weeks. And so I think that this is a huge, huge breakthrough. It's not just auditing contracts. It's everything to do with Web3 security. And that is a massive, massive narrative under AI for this bull run. And why is that? One of the big reasons is obviously, security is huge for crypto in general. It's one of the biggest concerns when people get into it. But another thing is that Vitalik actually called this out just about a month ago and was saying, hey, there's all these AI projects, but really the most promising is an AI project that will dive into and assess risk and security issues within code or within contracts. And that's exactly what PaladinAI is doing. And that's why I'm so bullish on the project. Obviously, DYOR, but I am very excited about this project. They do only have 8,500 followers right now on Twitter. Seems like they're pretty under the radar at this point. And it's really interesting to see what's going to come of this project. Another big reason why I'm bullish on it is because I have been able to see that there's quite a bit of backing from reputable companies that are wanting to partner with Paladin. So if we look at this post from Clarissa York, who's a partner manager at Agency Laser, this was just a few weeks back, and she highlighted PaladinAI. She's got 2 million followers. I hadn't heard about her before this, but that's quite a big following to be shilling, an 8,000 follower project on Twitter like PaladinAI. Needless to say, though, they are partnered with Google startups, IBM, MIT, and AWS startups. So these are some of the biggest companies in the world and some of the companies that have the most experience when it comes to security and technology, right? So they're not going to go to this team, see the technology, and then back it if they don't think that there is potential in it, right? So I think that this definitely screams, bullish indicator in my opinion. I think one of the other things too that's pretty unique is they will be employing a revenue share program, which actually you automatically enroll if you have 50,000 PaladinAI tokens inside of your wallet, and they will actually be instituting a 100% revenue share program for this offshoot to provide additional revenue for people who are willing to invest a minimum of 50,000 PALAI tokens. But anyway, definitely a very, very interesting project. Not sure how it's flown under the radar. There are rumors that Alex Becker has picked up this token and is holding it in his wallet currently. I've seen that just on Twitter. I don't know how I'd be able to verify that for certain. So take that with a grain of salt, but I have seen that floating around quite a bit. Now, if we go to the chart, it's only been around for 3-4 months, right? So we don't have too much long-term TA to work with, but we've been on this nice uptrend since about a month and a half ago. And now what we're seeing is a beautiful bounce off this area here right by the 382 fib, and we're seeing a nice established support here, establishing higher highs over the last couple of weeks. And now what I wouldn't be surprised to see is a potential back down support hit off of this trend line. So if we kind of come back down and establish support again 1 or 2 more times, I think that this really has a chance to bounce pretty hard. If it doesn't bounce right here off of this fib, right? We don't really have an established support, above what would we call it, 8-9 cents. So we're still trying to establish that. This is the daily chart, so we have 3 days above that. But at the same time, we do need to establish some more solid support. And what I really love to see is this resistance right here of about 12-13 cents for that to turn into support and for us to come down, check that, and then go. So short term, that's what we're looking at. That's what the chart looks like. Again, this is kind of this is a shorter term look, but longer term throughout the whole bull run, I think this does have quite some potential. Now, going on to our final token, we are talking Syntropy, or NOAI. So this has about 200 million market cap, so sitting right around where ORAI was. And what Syntropy does is essentially they are a data layer for Web3. So they're very, very similar to what Chainlink and some of those other DeFi and on-chain data projects do, which is kind of making blockchain data more accessible, retrievable, and interactable in real time, right? So that's what they're focused on. And this is a very DePIN AI based project. And so those narratives are both lining up pretty well for Syntropy and NOI from a narrative perspective. Now, going on that topic of investors backing, who's actually in on projects like this, we've seen quite a few investors back this project. So a lot of these are reputable in investment firms, especially CMCC Global. They've backed quite a few projects that have done quite well. So it's definitely a good sign to see this many backers for a project like this, especially only sitting at 200 million market cap. The other thing that I would note too is that there are some of these rumors that some individual investors include a general manager from BlackRock, the co-founder of Tether, and the head of strategy from AT&T. So I definitely do think that, while you should take posts like this on Twitter with a grain of salt, at the same time, there is some energy behind the investments that are coming to a project like this. And so it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Now, they do at the same time have some upside to be had from their Twitter following, more so comparable to Oraichain, and less comparable to Paladin, with Paladin only at 8,000 followers, and Syntropy has gained some traction there at 58,000 followers. But at the same time, a lot of the projects you probably follow, you think of things like Veracity, Link, a lot of these larger projects, even some smaller projects, hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, right? So these still have quite a bit of ways to go and get some social traction and to gain some volume. So definitely something to point out there. Now we'll look quickly at the chart. And it's funny, a lot of these charts are in a similar place, right? Recent run up, trying to check a new resistance and flip it into an old resistance, flip it into a new support. We're seeing that a lot. Now, what I will say is NOI obviously has had a quite a decent run up here recently, but we are looking to flip this about 33 to 32 cent marker from a previous resistance into this support. So right now we're having trouble getting above that 31, 32 cent mark. So ideally what we'd like to see is this to come up here, establish support, boom, stand on here, establish support there, and then go. But obviously there is a quite a decent chance that we come down and check these areas down by this fib, right? So 22, 25 cents. That would kind of be where we'd be headed next if we can't hold this little support right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down and check 22 cents. But again, we have a long way to go in this bull run. Wouldn't be surprising, probably be a healthy move for the chart, if I'm being entirely honest. If we did more so something like this instead of going, boom right away. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. I don't think that these are, tomorrow you're going to 100x your money, right? That's not what this video is for. It's, hey, how do we find, quality AI projects in the ocean of crap that's out there? So these seem pretty legit and I think have, quite a bit of potential. But I'd love to hear your responses in the comments, right? What projects are you researching? Have you seen these before? And where do you think some of these projects could be going? But that's it for me today. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Peace.